design, and I work with companies and with some offices of governments, creating future. And I think this has also to do with coaching. Because when we coach somebody that is committed to achieve something that never achieved before. Because if you coach somebody to correct what he's doing, that's not coaching for us. I think in another schools it's different, but not for us. People is okay like it is. Only if they say, I want to change something, there's the opportunity of achieving something through coaching. Is their own commitment the one that generates the difference? And in general, it's not to make something good from the past. It's to achieve something in the future. That was their interpretation of future. Future is something that will come naturally, and we trust in what is happening. Yes? Now, let's talk about some kind of hypothesis of how did we create the culture where we live in, how we did. Part of it is that we lived in herds some millions of years ago. Or no, a little more than 10,000 years. We lived in herds, in groups. And in those groups, like the other groups of animals, there's something that is characteristic. They don't have a language. We know that animals have a language. And I put this picture because I was there. And I saw that they have a language. But there's not a recursive language. They can think about the language they're using. They can think about the symbolic use of language. Yes? We do. So we differentiated from them in that moment. But in the same moment, we began to use language, symbols of the things that were outside. We lost the capacity of connecting directly with the outside, but to get connected with the symbolic meaning of those words. So we closed the world to the symbols of the words that we have. And even more when we talk to other ones, and we think that we are talking of the same thing. We have to be aware that we are listening from what the words that the other one is using mean for us. Probably is not the meaning that the other person is using. So we are closed in a paradigm that is formed by the words and the symbols of those words for us. Animals have three kinds of reaction when they have fear. Do you remember that?
Fight, flight.
Fight, flight,
Peace.
and surrender. Just, I can't move. Yes? So, do you think you are ready to live and experience here? Yes? Yeah? You're free. You cannot do it. I invite you to stay, but you can do whatever you want. Yes? So if you're ready, yes, you're ready?
Yes.
I'm looking for the commitment.
Yes.
Yes, okay. If that's true, can we put off the lights? Let's see what happens. And tell me, did somebody move in the seat? Like closing the legs? Like shrinking the space? Because one of the things that fear produces is shrinking of the space. We get smaller when we are afraid. Probably somebody caught the handbag and it's like embraced to the handbag. Yes? Or somebody needs probably to laugh. We are so numb to fear that it's difficult for us to detect our degrees of fear. So, what is fear? Please, Margaret. fear, who are you? Huh. You know me very well. I'm your fear. My fear. Yes. And where do you live? I live inside you. And I have almost your same voice because you invented me. I invented you. Yes. And you feed me. Because every time you think of me, I'm getting bigger and bigger. So, just thinking of you makes you bigger. Yes. And if you pay attention, you are afraid of love, you are afraid of getting out of love. You are afraid of being poor. You are afraid of being rich. You are afraid of having children. You are afraid of losing your children. You are almost afraid of everything. And have you seen that when you're afraid, you get smaller? You are only reactive. Yes, it's true. I get reactive. I get smaller. I can't give the best of me when I'm afraid. And tell me, how can I make it easier? How can I be your friend? The only way is going through fear. There's no way of not having fear. The only way is going through fear. Put it up, please. And if we are ready to go through fear, I will ask you to do something. And as can you hold the hand of the person that is close to you? Not your friend, the other one, the other side. Can you do it? Let's see. Try it. It's just a challenge. If not, listen to your voice. Who's this woman asking us to do? She's crazy. Well, nobody gets pregnant because they take the hand of God. So, just try. Nobody will fall in love for all their lives because of that. So, just try. Try. And even more, if you can hold that hand, try like an experiment. Yes, look at what's happening. Yes, this is fear. We need to talk. If you can hold that hand, not only do that, can you begin breathing at the same rhythm the other one is doing it? Can you just look like an experiment for creating a common rhythm in breath? And if you are holding the hand, now try to make an investigation. Is that hand sweating? No. Is it firm? Just investigate. Just move your hands. You know something? Animals, and we are animals. Animals touch each other to recognize them. And we have hands for that. And we lost this ability because we are so afraid that we are also afraid of touching, of getting in contact. So, feel the experience. Feel the experience of touching the hands. Feel the experience of just investigating and breathing with the other. And if you really breathe, deeply breathe, And now you are in the experience of having the hands of the other one in your hands. This is the question. What kind of future you can create from there? Because if you can do this, probably you will have the feeling of trust. Trust, relationship, and the future will expand. So now you can leave the hands of the other one like saying goodbye, and we can put on the lights. Can we put on the lights? Let's talk about future. So we were talking about fear, and we said that there are 3 different reactions that we all can acknowledge in our lives. Didn't you feel that you surrendered in some moment of fear? Didn't you flight or escape when something was like threatening to you? Didn't you attack because you interpreted that what's coming from outside was something that was perilous for you? So we have those same reactions. And when we are there, and because of this of language, what fear creates is that we are feeling that we are alone, and puts us in reaction, and shrinks our space, and shrinks the relationship with time. The future that we can create is a reactive future that has to do with surviving. Surviving for today, surviving for tomorrow. That we can think in the future for 10 years from now. By definition, future is the time that will never come. The time that arrives is today. So if we want something different, the only possible action is now. And if we want a different future than the future that is coming by default, when do we have to change something? Now. So, coming from there, what we are living today comes from the decisions we have taken some years ago. And we must be responsible of them. We chose that. And we have to think also, if what we are living today, if not what we wanted to live, is not what we wanted to achieve, probably it's not only to change decisions, but to change the way we observe the world that makes that our decisions are the way they are. And that means that probably we have to learn. Other thing that we work a lot is that because of our culture, we think future is time. No? And when we think in future as time, we need a consequence or a sequence of actions or deeds to achieve some things. When we don't think in future like time, when we think in future like a space, we can think in future like a canvas where we can paint whatever we want, dream, or envision.